is Thursday, 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The 18th BIMSTEC Heads of State Summit will be held today in Colombo. Cabinet grants approval to table the IMF report to the Parliament. The Vari Saubhagya program commences today. Sri Lanka earned $1 billion of export income last month. Palali and Batticaloa domestic airports will be developed to the international level. A 10-hour power cut will be experienced today. And on news overseas, Russia says it will curb Kiev assault as Ukraine peace talks progress. We move on to local news in detail now. The 18th Heads of State Summit of the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation will be held today. This summit will be held at the BMICH in hybrid mode. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will chair the summit. The leaders of Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Thailand will participate at the meeting through video conference. Ministerial meeting of the BIMSTEC was held yesterday. The foreign ministers of Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Thailand participated at the ministerial meeting in person, while the foreign minister of Myanmar participated virtually. Assuming the chairmanship of the meeting, Minister of Foreign Affairs Professor G.L. Piri stated that Sri Lanka's geostrategic location at the center of the Indian Ocean has been a magnet, attracting a diverse variety of nations and people. He further stated that Sri Lanka is to bring together foreign ministers and diplomats from South Asia and Southeast Asia and serving as a bridge between these two regions. Minister Pires called for action with the BIMSTEC for greater economic cooperation among the countries. He also stated that participation and networking among the private sectors in the region is a significant step towards this end. Leading the Sri Lankan delegation, State Minister of Regional Cooperation Tharaka Balasuri stated that BIMSTEC remains vested with a group of countries that could bring a great change in the global economy. The Cabinet of Ministers has granted the approval to present the International Monetary Fund's report on Sri Lanka to Parliament. This was proposed by Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa. Chief Government Whip Minister Johnston Fernando said that the government has decided to hold a debate on the IMF report when the Parliament convenes again between April 5th and 8th. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister and leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, had called for an immediate debate in Parliament on the IMF report on Sri Lanka. The Vari Saubhagya program of the government commences today from the Kurunegala district. 100 irrigation tanks will be renovated under this program. Under this initiative, renovation of Mahavava tank in Meegaswava will commence under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Minister Chamal Rajapaksa today. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. The government has focused its attention to develop Palali and Batticaloa airports in the international standards. Accordingly, the number of international airports in the country increases to 5. Rathmalana Airport commences its international flight operations recently after a lapse of 55 years. State Minister D.V. Chanaka says that opening the international level airports will help developing the tourism industry in the country. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has approved the Ceylon Electricity Board's request for 10-hour interruptions to the power supply today. Chairman of the Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, says the power cuts will be imposed island-wide in several slots between 8 a.m. and midnight. The CEB had sought to increase the duration of power cuts to 10 hours due to the unavailability of fuel for 750 megawatts of thermal capacity. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lanka has been able to earn more than $1 billion of export income last month. $1,040 million have been earned in the month of February. Sri Lanka Export Development Board says it is a 9.91% increase when compared to the same period last year. According to the Sri Lanka Customs, the total income of the first 2 months of this year is 2,100 million rupees, or rather $2,100 million.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
And on Watchlight, 6,771 patients with lung infections have been identified in the year 2021, out of which large number of patients were detected from the Colombo district. These patients are identified as non-bacteria affected patients. It should be noted that 7,258 patients were identified in 2020. Cough, light fever, weight loss, non-appetite and breathing difficulties are some of the symptoms of this defect.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines: Russia says it will curb Kiev assaults as Ukraine peace talks progress. Russia blames US for cyber attacks. Queen attends Prince Philip's memorial service at Westminster Abbey. We move on to world news in detail. Russia has announced it will drastically reduce military combat operations in two key areas of Ukraine to boost mutual trust in peace talks. The decision to scale back operations around the capital Kiev and the northern city of Chernihiv is the first sign of tangible progress, but it is unclear how extensive any reduction in military activity might be, and Ukraine remains skeptical. Russia had already refocused its campaign on Ukraine's eastern regions. It has suffered a series of setbacks to the northwest of the capital, Kiev, and it is also seeking to capture a land corridor which stretches along the south coast to the Russian border. President Volodymyr Zelensky, however, said he saw no reason to believe the words of some Russian representatives. The US and its allies have put together a group of international offensive cyber forces and unleashed them on Russia in response to its military offensive in Ukraine, the foreign ministry in Moscow has alleged. Russian government institutions, media outlets and critical infrastructure have been subjected to powerful blows with the use of advanced information and communication technologies. Hundreds of thousands of such attacks are being registered in Russia on a daily basis. They are carried out by a sort of offensive cyber forces which were put together by US at the suggestion of Kiev. According to Moscow, the unprecedented scale of the attack suggested the operation is being conducted not only by Ukrainian cyber units that are trained by the Americans and NATO, but also by anonymous hackers and provocateurs who answer to the backers of the Kiev government. The statement said the actions of this army of cyber mercenaries who are assigned special missions against Russia border on open terrorism. The Russian agencies have so far been able to effectively resist those attacks, it added. Finally, on World News, the Queen has joined her family at a memorial service to celebrate the life of the Duke of Edinburgh. Her son, the Duke of York, in his first public appearance since settling a civil sex assault case, accompanied her to Westminster Abbey. Prince Philip, who died last year aged 99, was described as a remarkable man committed to down-to-earth causes. The service was organized as COVID rules meant his funeral, held almost a year ago, had only 30 people present. Representatives of many of his charities, including the Duke of Edinburgh Award, attended Tuesday's service, which had 1,800 people in attendance. It was the first major event this year, attended by the 95-year-old monarch, who travelled by car from Windsor Castle with Prince Andrew. That's on World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by... Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
And on development news, a new program will be introduced for the safety of government and textile workers. Minister Nimas Siripala de Silva said that an international organization has expressed its willingness to support the program. Executive Director of ACORD, Joris Oldenshell, and its Head of Policies, Veronique Camariel, held lengthy discussions with Minister in this regard recently.
Development News was brought to you by... The coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by...
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Sadio Mane scored the winning penalty in a shootout to send Senegal to the 2022 World Cup after Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah missed his spot kick for Egypt. In a repeat of the Africa Cup of Nations final, Senegal were left jubilant at the final whistle after winning on penalties, with Egypt's players disconsolate and Salah, one of the world's best players, left contemplating his absence from November's tournament in Qatar. The second leg of the playoff tie in Senegal's new 50,000-seater stadium finished 1-0 to the hosts and 1-1 on aggregate after extra time, sending the game to a tense and dramatic shootout.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The 22nd Annual General Meeting of Sri Lanka Germany Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce was held recently at Hilton Colombo Residences. Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany to Sri Lanka, Olga Schubert, who is also the patron of the council, was the chief guest. It was established in 1999 with the primary objective of promoting trade, investment, tourism and services between Sri Lanka and Germany.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic News.
courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, SEAT Kalani Holdings has taken its radial tire manufacture to a new paradigm with the launch of the first ever range of high-performance 17-inch tires for medium-sized SUVs. Designed, engineered and built for Sri Lankan conditions at the SEAT Kalani Manufacturing Complex in Kalaniya, the SEAT Sakura-derived tire takes Sri Lanka's highest-selling tire brand up the value chain.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
Showers or thunder showers occurred several places in the island except in the northern province and Trincomalee district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabargama and Uva provinces and in Kurunegala, Hambantota and Anuradhapura districts. That's the weather update, and before we wind up this bulletin of news, here is the headlines again. The 18th BIMSTEC Heads of State Summit will be held today in Colombo. Cabinet grants approval to table the IMF report to the Parliament. The Vari Saubhagya program commences today. Sri Lanka earned $1 billion to export income of last month. Palali and Batikla domestic airports will be developed to the international level. A 10-hour power cut will be experienced today. And on news overseas, Russia says it will curb Kiev assaults as Ukraine peace talks progress. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And